Hi, how's everyone out there doing? I am here with the amazing author, Mel Kelly, who wrote the book Made in Ireland, or Born in Ireland, Made in Germany.
Maybe one time you'll get the introduction right. Maybe
Just
one time.
time.
I'm still waiting.
And top tips for disaster.
To
Mel, we just gotta start over. This is not working.
Professional speaker Amy Hamilton, who is professional at introductions. I'm honored to be here. Welcome to you all from Germany, Munich, Germany. I'm amazed to be here with the amazing author, Amy Hamilton, who's wrote these two best-selling books, The Project Manager and The Consummate Communicator. Hi, how are we all doing this week?
So, Mel, thank you so much, as always, for being here and the lovely introduction and the terrible introduction that I did for you today.
Yeah, but it's the same every week. It's okay, Amy. Get used to it. You know?
Someday I'm going to learn how to say all these words together.
Yeah, it's hard. It's difficult. I know. It's difficult. Without alcohol as well. So go on. Anyway. So,
that's true. Sober makes it.
I'm saying it's so much more difficult. It's completely overrated. Okay.
So Mel, thank you again last week for accommodating me when I had my run, and it went fabulously well. So
well done. Congratulations, Wonder
Woman.
That's well
completed.
Done, Wonder Woman.
And Mel, thank you for that compliment.
Well done, Amy. You are learning. These are tips that we are providing for not just for our listeners, but for you as well. If somebody gives you a compliment, it's okay to say thank you.
Mel, today we're going to talk about something
well done, Amy.
And thank you, Mel.
You're a super fast learner.
So, Mel, somehow I'm going to get to the point of what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
So part of dating is finding people to date, right? And so we've talked about online dating and profiles and your really wonderful advice on what to put in your profile. Everything. Put everything in your profile. All of your bad traits, right?
It's honest. It's authentic.
But now people want to meet people in real life, which is totally a scary thing. But where do you find these people to meet?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you meet them everywhere. Everywhere you go into a city, there's millions of people in a city, or there's hundreds of thousands of people in your nearest town. Just go in and say, hello, I'm here. You get on an U-Bahn, an S-Bahn, a train, a pub, U-Bahn, S-Bahn. You can see I'm in Germany too long. But get on a public transport, sit down beside somebody, say hello. Hey, get talking to them.
So you think you should just hit on somebody on a metro car?
Well, that's the bad advice. I'm giving the bad advice here first.
Like, you don't think that's dangerous at all?
Well, I know people who've met that way. I know people who have.
For real?
Yeah. Just, hey, how you doing? I've got a cold. I need some tissue, runny nose. Give me the tissue. I know people who've used this as their chat-up line. This is, but it's high on supermarkets, high on the street, high on whatever. But it's a high risk strategy, and I mean it's only for the non-faint-hearted.
So where else do you think is a good place to meet people other than public transit?
Public and on the street and in shops. If you're a guy, where's a good place to meet women? Women's clothes stores. Pretend you're buying something for your sister and ask the woman for advice. The only problem, again, not for the faint-hearted, but yeah, go ask for advice. Say you're looking for advice and what do you think would suit your sister, would you not? It's all very easy.
So just lurk the lingerie store like you're buying. Yes, I buy all my sister's brasiers for her. Nothing creepy there.
I didn't say a lingerie or brassiere store, but that definitely would top the list of bad advice. Thank you, Amy, for even making my advice even worse. Good, I'm going to write that one down. Good. That one is even worse than what I could give.
I will tell you this, ladies, if a man is coming up to you in a lingerie store to buy his sister brassiere, run the other direction. Do not listen to Mel's advice. Just go.
That was your advice. I was just talking about clothes stores. You're buying, I don't know, socks or something like that. I didn't bring in the brassiere. You brought in the brassiere part, but you're taking my tip and bringing it to the next level of bad. I'm very impressed.
Okay, so now that we've got public transit and brassiere stores out
Brasserie,
of the way,
lingerie stores, we got those both ruled out.
where are some other really bad places to meet people?
Ooh. Funerals, weddings. I mean, you remember the movie The Wedding Crasher, of course.
Right.
It's in the dated one now. And then there was the next level is funeral crasher, you know. So I mean, again, really bad places to meet people, you know. This is all great, you know. It's
Yeah, but
the,
you know immediately if the widow or widower is single. This is actually not the worst plan you ever had, Mel. At least in that moment in time, you're like, oh. And then you could probably from the obituaries, like kind of like get an idea of like, you know,
who,
this built
who,
in like who their siblings are, all this is what
yeah,
they left behind, where they lived.
yeah.
This is a great way to strike up a conversation.
That was the premise of that movie, Wedding Crasher, I think it was, you know. So, and Will Ferrell, I don't know, was that movie based on a real life story or not, you know? But
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it's a premise, it's an idea, it's something worth trying out and
So
see
it's
does
a
it work.
funeral crashing. Just go to the funeral and start hitting on the person with the
Yeah,
newly deceased spouse.
it started as Wedding Crashers. That was the whole point of the movie. They started as Wedding Crashers, and then they went to by the end of the movie, they went to the next level, which was funeral crashing. So that was the thing now. So the thing would be is, I mean, try it out, see does it work. I mean,
So,
I
and
don't think.
if it doesn't work, you can just take the metro home and hit on somebody on the way home.
There you go. There you go. I don't think I can give worse advice than that, but I think that's. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So Will Ferrell will be very impressed that I remember his movie, and I'm passing on his words of wisdom from that movie.
Okay, Mel, these are some. This is some seriously bad advice today. Like I think we've like hit an all new low on this show of like
Yes.
things not to do to meet people.
Yes.
So I'm going
So,
to ask you a very serious one, Mel.
very
And
serious.
if you have experience in this, or maybe even you've dabbled in this yourself, which is the friend setup. So like there you were sitting there with you and your partner, and you go, this guy and this girl should get together. Have you ever tried to help set up a couple, or
no,
you've
this is
experienced this though and familiar with this
such
concept?
rubbish. This is such rubbish. This is a real, again, stereotype. This is a real girl thing. I mean, girls love doing this. Oh, I have my single friend and she would sit. It is terrible advice. This has never worked out. And then, the two people who are being set up by the two friends, they meet and there's just no chemistry. And the both of them are looking at each other as if to kind of go, I know why you're single. And the other one's looking at the other one, I know why you're single as well. And then they have nothing to talk about. It's a disaster. But I will say the people who suggest these things are generally women. Guys do not suggest this in my experience, but I would say I've experienced it quite a few times where women will suggest, the hookup in that manner. But that's even worse than the funeral crashing, in my opinion.
You have better look at a funeral than being set up
better look at a funeral than being set up by your friends like that. It's just a disaster. But
I did have one time where I was trying to set one friend up with another friend. It didn't work out. And part of the reason is because then he decided he liked one of my other friends. And that did kind of work out for a little while.
Yeah, like the trick is, if you want to kind of do a variation on that, is you don't set it up where there's one guy meeting one girl. That's just too much pressure. But what you do is you maybe have a party or a social or gathering or whatever, and you have maybe one or two couples, and you have 4 or 5 singles or whatever number you have, but you don't have just one single and everybody's waiting for them to pair off, because it's way too much pressure. It'll never work out. But a mixed party with a mix of couples and a mix of, a couple of single people, I mean, then you let nature take its course. But you cannot pick it out. This person will be a perfect match for this.
So I'm going to ask another one,
It doesn't work.
So my friend has suggested, because we've all met some gentlemen online dating, is what if you meet some great guys online dating, but they're not great for you? What if we had like a little mixer and invited all these guys? And it saw like maybe there's some other people that they'd be interested in though.
Oh yeah, well that might not be a bad idea, because if you've met these guys online and you're not romantically, it's not working out, but you kind of can strike up a friendship with them, and I mean they're okay guys. I mean, why not put them into the mix with a couple of other single girls? But it's this thing of going, this guy would suit this girl or this girl would suit that guy. I think it's just a match made in heaven. That's just a disaster. As I say, back to funeral crashing is much better. But you could do it slightly more indirect, which is, put a couple of those guys who seem okay and put them together with a couple of those girls who seem okay. And, maybe that might work.
So that's an idea. I know I did set one friend up, and they went out a few times, and then he actually, he dissed her by text, and he
Oh,
told me, and I kinda knew both sides of the story, and I just felt so terrible, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh." So, yeah, I've really tried to stop doing that because it doesn't end well for
no,
anybody,
no, no,
including
no, no.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, this is it. I mean, it's so Cupid has to follow its course, and yeah, this thing of the helping hand, I think it's just yeah. As I say, in my experience, I've heard this helping hand idea more from female friends. It's just, yeah, but I'm only just helping her. Oh, I'm just helping her. It's all rubbish and wrong. As I say, better send her to a funeral, send him to a funeral. Much better way to meet somebody than doing this helping hand approach as a disaster.
So, Mal, you've really set this up well for our next segment, and we've been talking a lot about friends. And what do you do when you've started dating somebody? So you've met them at the lingerie store and somehow it actually worked out. Who knows? It could happen. Or the funeral or the metro, wherever you've met this person online dating, and you're kind of getting a connection, been on a few dates. They start to meet your circle of friends or your family, and your friends and family do not like the person you're dating.
It's an interesting
Oh,
topic. Oh,
it
well,
is.
we're going to find out more about that next week.
Let's see if you can give even worse advice than we did today. Yeah, I think we hit a new low today. I think that was like really like exciting.
Good, good. Thank you, thank you.
Okay. And
Good.
ladies, if a man does hit on you at the lingerie store, really, really think quite seriously about this before you engage any further.
It's been great. We'll see you guys all next week.